Hello there. My name is Cyrus, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Why am I making a YouTube channel, you may be wondering? Well, I love all things fiber arts, creative, all of that fun stuff. And I really like the community that it brings me and those around me. I love watching YouTube. I love watching people talk about their projects and what they're working on and what they're creating on YouTube. So I wanted to join in on that. It looks like a lot of fun. I'm hoping this will be a nice outlet to meet some people and, share what I'm making in my time. So, who am I? Well, like I said, my name is Cyrus. I live here in Wisconsin. It's a beautiful state. Moved here about 7 or 8 years ago. I've loved it ever since. Great place to be if you love fiber arts and community. I live with my husband and our 2 cats, Kono and Roswell. I primarily do knitting and spinning with a little bit of crochet, and my husband does knitting and weaving with a little bit of spinning. So together, of course, we have an entire yarn store's worth of stuff in our house. One last thing, housekeeping before I jump into the contents. I'm thinking this will be a little bit of a Fibercraft podcast that I'm sure you've seen. That classic, what am I working on? What have I finished recently? And what do I want to work on soon? Any acquisitions? You know the drill, very basic. I might make a couple other videos here and there, just if it sounds fun. I'm hoping this will be a creative outlet for me. So, in addition to, of course, all my other creative outlets. So if that sounds interesting to you, give me a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, all of the things. With that, let's get started. Okay, first up, I wanted to show off this little baby blanket that I've been working on. That's the wrong side. This little baby blanket I've been working on. I've got some notes here, so don't mind me. This is the Meadowland Baby Afghan by Irina Polundnenko. I'm using Line Brand Mandala, color 233 Kraken, and color, I didn't have the number, Werewolf. So the pattern is very, very fun, very, very easy, great baby knit. You work 4 triangles, so I'm halfway done, and then a little border if you want, which is very cute. This is my second time making this pattern. I very much recommend it. I think it's a free pattern. So you start in one of the tips and you basically just work alternating garter stripes with 2 different colors of yarn. I'm doing the mandala, so it changes colors as you go. And actually you start on this long side, I believe. And then for the next triangle, you pick up, do the same thing. Next triangle, you pick up, do the same thing. And then finally you finish it and then you seam it together at the end. So cranking through this, I feel like it's baby season in my life. This is like the 3rd baby blanket I'm making in 3 months or something, but having a lot of fun with it, and it's going to a dear friend, so I hope she likes it. Next up, I've got a scarf, and this has no name. So this is my scarf. It's called Scarf. The pattern is Scarf. It is... I'm using the Laines Poema Tweed luxury line, color 506. So it's this really fun, dark color to this like light, almost green. It goes through blue in the middle, sort of gradient, with all of these lovely tweedy bits in all sorts of different colors in there, if you can see that. It's made of a single, which I didn't realize when I got it, but has been fine. I've been enjoying it. And I call the pattern Scarf because it literally, I needed to cast something on and made up some numbers. So cast on 62 stitches, did 1x1 rib for, I don't know, about an inch, not even that much. And then from there, just doing a 3x3 rib pattern with 1 stitch selvage on either end where I'm slipping it on the one side and then knitting it on the other side. So yeah, it's going to be just like a lovely, long, super cozy, easy wear sort of scarf. I didn't write down any of the fiber contents. Hold on. Okay, I just got back. I went and I checked all the fiber contents and all of the yardages because I also realized I didn't write that down. So let's take one step back to the baby blanket. So the mandala... Line Brand Mandala is 100% acrylic, great for babies, machine washable. It is 590 yards for 150 grams. So they're pretty big cakes. And then back to the scarf. the scarf pattern. Maybe I'll call it a scarf. This is 94% merino wool with 6% rayon. Probably the little tweed bits contribute to that as well. And it is 656 yards per 100 grams. So I don't know what that is. That's like crazy. That's what it said. Next up, I wanted to show off the pattern called Tracery by Kathleen Sperling. So I've got that in my hide and hammer bag here. And this one's got a bit of a story, so bear with me. Let's see if I can show this off. Well, I am at the point where I'm joining. So this is a vest, and I'm at the point where I'm joining the front and back together with 3 needle bind off, and then I pick up for the neckline, and then I do the armholes with a little bit of ribbing, and it's done, which I'm very excited about. So the story behind this guy, like I said, this is the Tracery pattern by Kathleen Sperling, and the fibers, the yarns that I'm using here, this is my handspun. So this is Southern Cross Fibre, Monona Sunset is the colorway. This was really, really special to me. It was dyed up by Southern Cross Fibre's dyer, David. He did a special order for my local spinning group, so everyone ordered fiber, and we've all been sort of working through it in our own time and our own pace. So I chose to do a chain ply with this. It's 70% merino, 30% silk. I'm calling it between a sport weight and a DK. I don't know how accurate that is, but that's what I'm calling it. The pattern itself calls for, I believe, fingering weight. I don't care. I saw this fiber and I said I wanted to make something that was stained glass with it. And so I was actually in the process of designing a stained glass colorwork pattern to do when someone sent me this specific pattern, which I was very excited that saves me a little bit of work. So I gave it a try. Looking back now, I wish that I had steeped it. So after you split for the sleeves, right, you're knitting this entire panel and both of the arm straps, shoulder straps here, flat colorwork, 2-stranded colorwork, which is fine, but it's slow and I don't like it that much. When I knit colorwork, I try to use both hands, and that I feel like gives me a really good groove, and I can sort of just bang through colorwork in the round. So having to deal with knitting it flat has slowed me down so much. And most of it's mental, right? It's me being a big baby about it, but that's fine. But I love how it's coming out. There are some, lower contrast sections, but I kind of am okay with that. I kind of don't care. I think it's really beautiful. The other yarn that I'm using here is the Fibre Co. Road to China Light in the colorway Onyx, so black. It is 65% alpaca, 15% silk, 10% cashmere, 10% camel. It is so soft and so luxurious. And, like I said, the hand spun was really special to me. So I wanted a nice fiber to go with it. Yeah, what else to say about this guy? I think the only other thing to call out, like I said, this is my hand spun. Obviously I absolutely am in love with it. And I spun it on my Starling, my Daedalus Starling. And yeah, worsted spun. I'm not sure what details people care about, so let me know, and I'll tailor that in the future with my notes here, obviously. Then the last sort of whip that I wanted to talk about, show off here today. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, my last whip that I want to talk about today is this. I am obsessed. So currently I am working through the Whisky Sour test knit for Maxim Sear, Max the Knitter, on Instagram and Ravelry. It is a beautiful little button-up, summer button-up with this lovely, textured, open, airy pattern, fabric, whatever you want to call it. And I am having so much fun with this. I literally can't think about anything else. Everything else is on hold while I'm working on this. Usually I'm good about, bouncing between things, but in this case, no, I am one-track mind. So far, I am through the collar, and it's a raglan pattern, so I'm working through the yoke, raglan, zone, just cruising along. But it's just so addicting to knit, having a ton of fun. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I am using the Wandering Flock Cotton Lino in the sand colorway. It is 35% cotton, 30% mulberry silk, 20% linen, and 15% alpaca. And it is 328 yards per 100 grams, sport weight. So obviously, just super summery, super beautiful. There's a lot of really gorgeous colors. I might have to make a second one. Especially, I feel like I'm going to get so much wear out of this summer. So I am cruising through it. But this, I chose this sand color originally. So it's like an off-white, neutrally sand color. Because it'll go with everything, right? I can throw this on over a tank top, over a t-shirt, and immediately dressed up, beautiful, glowing, in my lane, thriving. So yeah, I cannot recommend it enough. I believe the pattern will come out later this summer, so look for something between sport and DK that'll be nice, light, flowy, drapey, summery. Yeah, I think that's it for the whips. Things that I'm actively working on. I'm between spins at the moment, otherwise I would talk about that. Like you saw, I do, some spinning as well as knitting. But I do have one FO that was very, very recent, so we'll look at that real quick. So the FO, well, I'm calling it an FO. It's technically not done. I do this a lot especially with cowls, where I basically finish it and then I let it sit in my bedroom for 2 months until I actually finish it. But I mean, come on, guys, look how pretty this is. This is the Grid Gambit. Pattern is by Samantha Guerin, Guerin. And it is sort of a asymmetric, I guess it's symmetric now, but it's knitted asymmetrically cowl. So I still have to weave in the ends and then join these two sides and block it. So the reason it's not done is I still have to block it. But you join these two sides together and then you wear it sort of like this cute little triangle bandana. Isn't that adorable? I am in love with this. Everyone in my spinning group has been making it with their handspun, and so I felt left out and I had to do the same thing. But yeah, it's a mosaic pattern, so super quick, easy repeat, easy to remember. You sort of cast on at the one end, and then you sort of do like a little triangle increase, and then you do sort of an increase through one side, increase, and then you decrease, and then you do a I-cord bind off. Something like that. Go get the pattern, it's great. Any sort of variegated yarn would be beautiful in this. Any sort of gradient is beautiful in this. Obviously handspun. Other things, Utopia yarn would be gorgeous. Who else? Junction Fibre Mill would be gorgeous. Spin Cycle, of course, would be gorgeous with this. So you got a lot of options. Hell, even just like two like contrasting colors would be just beautiful. Everyone can make this. Everyone can wear this. 10 out of 10. What yarn did I use? I used amirisu Stroll, which is this gray main color. And then as my contrast color, I used this sort of gradient transitional purple to yellow to purple handspun fiber that I made. So this is, I believe, Plum Ginger Pie is the name, by Fossil Fiberworks. It was their 2025 Pi Day fiber, which picked up for my birthday, so thank you, Micah. 85% BFL, 15% silk. I think it came out, I mean, it depends on which part you're looking at here, honestly. Either sport or DK weight. Take your pick. But the Stroll, I believe, is the DK as well. So they kind of fit together more or less. The amirisu Stroll is colorway Peony. It is 100% superwash merino. 250 yards, 100 grams. For the hand spuns, I'm not going to give yardages because it's never exactly 100 grams. The yardages are going to vary a little bit, especially if I have more than one braid that I sort of combined or, whatever. Anyway, if you want to know that stuff, check my Ravelry, Cyrus Papyrus. It'll be in the description. And that should have hopefully a little more detail. But this hand spun was kind of fun. So it came in this long braid, and I split the braid in half, and then I split each of those halves in half lengthwise to try to get two singles that would transition from the purple to the yellow, the bright yellow to the purple again, and be sort of equal lengths. And I did pretty well. I think I only had a little bit left of one single, which I then chain plied it to itself. I've got a collection of mini skeins, which not even close to an actual mini skein. They're way less than 20 grams, which I believe is what most people go for mini skeins. But I've got a little collection of these mini skein scraps from all my spins that I'm sort of saving up, and I think I'll maybe do something with someday. Hopefully, that's what I tell myself. So if you have ideas or recommendations, let me know. But yeah, absolutely love this. It's springy, it's airy, it's squishy. I love this fiber. I love how it came out. This was my most recent finished spin, and as soon as I finished it, I was wet finishing it, hanging it, thwacked it, and I was casting on. So I finished this, I think, in like 4 days. Admittedly, there was a road trip in there, which is why I was able to finish it in like 4 days. I did not do any driving. I just knit the whole time, and it was great. I loved it. Only other fun little fact, so this yarn, amirisu, is a Japanese company, and I actually was able to pick this up in Japan, in Kyoto, at Walnut, their flagship store. So it is also very special to me in that way. So this is going to be near and dear to my heart, and I'm never getting rid of it. So that, I'm considering this an FO. Maybe it'll actually be an FO by the next time I make this. Maybe I'll show you some photos or something of me wearing it. But for now, we're considering this an FO. And last up, we've got acquisitions. So I have recently reorganized our entire yarn and leftover fiber, everything, all of our yarn stuff. I've reorganized it recently. It took me like 6 hours straight. Everything is in Ravelry. It is labeled. It is in a specific bin. Ravelry says what bin it's in, so we can find all of our stuff. And hopefully, buy less yarn, theoretically. We'll see. It is local yarn store weekend this weekend, so I will likely be making some purchases there. We have a lot of great local yarn stores here, especially near me. Very excited. There's a local mill that I'm checking out. I go every year. Anyway, so there might not be a ton of acquisitions, but we do have one acquisition. This is Fibre. So the Madison Knitters Guild recently had Honeygold Acres come to vend at the April meeting, I guess. This is April, yes. So I couldn't resist. This specific colorway has been screaming my name. I love everything orange. I love grays. I love neutrals. So I had to pick it up. I'm pretty sure I have looked at this exact colorway multiple times and resisted up until now. And so finally I won out. So this is Honeygold Acres. They do fiber. They do yarn. Beautiful work. This is a merino bamboo blend, 4 ounces. Taconite is the colorway, and I believe it's named after a city in Michigan. I believe so. Don't quote me on that. I asked her, and I don't know if I remember the answer, but I got 2 braids, so I can make something a little, bigger with it. Yeah, so stick around. Like I said, subscribe if you want to see what this beautiful fiber becomes. And that's it. So what are you working on? Hopefully you had fun chatting. And that's it. So let me know in the comments below what you've been working on. Were you doing some work, doing some chores. Were you knitting? Were you crocheting? Were you spinning? Please tell me all about it. Let me know what's going on in your world. I look forward to hearing from everyone. That's it. Goodbye.